A contractor I worked with had 3 years of QuickBooks behind him. Clean books, taxes filed on time every year. And not $1 of that cost was ever tied to a single job. $900,000 of material, labor, and subs, all sitting in one line. 3 years worth of bookkeeping that could not tell him which jobs made money and which ones quietly lost it. I spent years running a 150-person retail operation across 7 states, $24 million a year in revenue. And the one thing our tax CPA never told us, your books are only useful if they're set up to answer your business questions, not just the tax questions. Most contractors never get that set up. They buy QuickBooks, somebody configures it to file a clean tax return, and it can never answer the questions your whole business runs on: which jobs make money and which parts of your business make money. So here's the truth nobody tells you. Your QuickBooks is not broken, and it's not lying to you. It was just never set up for construction. And once you see what a construction-ready setup looks like, you cannot unsee it on your own books. I built a free QuickBooks Setup Audit for exactly this. It's 8 yes or no questions that score whether your setup can even see a job. The link is in the description. Let me show you what setup generic books look like, because it's probably your setup too. When you open QuickBooks for the first time, it hands you a generic chart of accounts, one income line, one big bucket of cost of goods sold, and a few expense categories. That's it. Every materials run, every sub check, every fuel receipt, it drops into that one bucket. The profit and loss balances, your accountant is happy, you file your taxes on time, and nothing on that screen can tell you whether that kitchen job you finished last month made money or lost it. Here's why that happens, and it's not on you. The person who set up your QuickBooks was probably a tax CPA or a general bookkeeper, and they set it up to do their job well. File a clean, low tax return, and that's a real job, and they did it. But setting your books up to tell you which jobs make money is a different and a much harder job. It cannot be automated, and it takes real back and forth with you, the owner. It means teaching you a process that adds a little work out in the field on every job, and a lot of professionals just will not push that conversation. It's easier to file a return and move on. And here's the other half of it. Most contractors come up through the trade, not through an accounting degree. QuickBooks' own research says only about 16% of small business owners have a business degree. The rest of us learned the money side on the job. So when nobody brings up job costing, you do not know to ask for it. And the setup that would turn your books into an asset never gets switched on. I want to be straight with you. I lose potential clients over this. I push for the setup that's in their best interest, and some owners tell me they don't need it. They just want their taxes done. I would rather tell you the truth and have you walk than sign you up and leave your books broken. Because contractors who do turn this on are the ones who stop guessing and start growing. Now, if you saw the receipt video I did a while back, you already know to tag every receipt to a job. Good. But here's the catch. If QuickBooks itself is not built to receive that tag, the cost still lands in one bucket. You did your part, the setup just couldn't catch it. That exact gap, getting the job tag from the field into the books without piling work on whoever enters your expenses, is the whole reason we ended up building project tools. I'll show you that in a minute. So what does setup for construction mean? It comes down to a handful of configuration choices, and you do not need to be an accountant to follow them. Here are the big ones. First, split your existing cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold, or COGS, is just the direct cost of doing the work. Materials, labor, subs, equipment. In a generic setup, it's on one line. But in a construction-ready setup, it's broken into separate lines. One for materials, one for labor, one for subs, and one for equipment. Now you can see where the money went. Second, and this one is just as important as jobs, segment your business. If you run more than one kind of work, residential and commercial, or install and service, you want to see each one on its own. You can do that 2 ways in QuickBooks: separate income accounts for each segment, or turn on classes and locations and tag the work. One heads up though, classes, locations, and project tracking only come in the higher QuickBooks plans, Plus or Advanced. Honestly, business segments are a little easier to live with after the period closes. You pull one report and the margin by segment is right there. Trying to rebuild a whole business line number by adding every job up after the fact is a lot tougher. This is how you find out which part of your business is carrying you and which part might be quietly failing. The third thing you're going to do is turn on projects. QuickBooks can tag every cost to a specific job, but only if you switch that on and use it. Without it, every cost is company-wide and no cost is job level. That is the line between a tax return and a tool you use to run your business. Fourth, your estimate items. Every product and service you set up in QuickBooks is automatically assigned an income account from the start. That part is fine, and if you run multiple business lines, you can point each line to the right income account for its line. The piece so many people miss is the cost side. For anything you buy, materials and subs, you have to go into the item settings and tie it to the proper cost of goods sold account. If you skip that, the cost has nowhere correct to land and your job costs come out wrong. And the fifth thing is payroll. Your crew's hours are one of the biggest costs of any job, and if payroll does not push the labor onto the job, you're job costing with a giant piece missing. This is the second tool we built in Project Tools, the Timekeeper, because it mattered that much. Your crew clocks into the job right from their phone, and the labor costs land on that job automatically. If you used Project Tools for nothing but time tracking, it would still pay for itself. Now those are the big ones, and they are 5 out of the 8 things on my audit checklist. There are a few more, like whether your sales tax is split right and whether you track 1099 vendors. But when you get these 5 right, QuickBooks goes from a tax filing tool to a tool you can steer your business with. Now before I show you the fix, one straight word about your part in this. The best setup in the world only works if you and your crew pick the job at the moment of the cost. The receipt, the job hours, the change order, that tag has to come from the field, from you. Nobody can tag a cost to a job they never saw. Here's the payoff though, and it's not just cleaner taxes. When every job cost lands on the right job, you stop guessing which work makes money. You bid the next job off of what the last one actually cost, not off of a feeling, and you sleep better because you know where you stand before the job is over, not 3 months after it closes. So here's the fix, and it takes that burden off your shoulders and the whole reason we built Project Tools. The idea is simple. You enter the project information one time in the field and the accounting side fills itself in. One entry point, no double work. Watch. My crew lead is standing in the supply house. He pulls up the receipt capture app, snaps a photo of the receipt, selects the job, selects the category, materials, gives a quick voice recording. This was supplies for the Harrington kitchen remodel. That's it. He's done and back to work in less than 30 seconds. Now, in order to show you this next part, I have to put that receipt into my own company file so I can show you the sync to QuickBooks. So a couple of the things aren't going to match up. But once you get back to the office, the receipt's already waiting in the receipt dashboard. The AI has read the data and has extracted the vendor, the date, and the items right out of the photo. The office manager gives it a quick look, and then they move down here and it says sync to QuickBooks. They press that and the expense is pushed to QuickBooks as a categorized expense, the right cost account, the right vendor. The deduction is handled. The bookkeeper's QuickBooks is right and nobody had to type it in twice. Now this is what it looks like when it lands in QuickBooks. A clean expense in the right cost account. Now notice what QuickBooks is not doing here. It's not doing the job costing. It doesn't have to. That part already happened in Project Tools the second your team picked the job in the field. QuickBooks gets the money movement. Project Tools keeps the job level answer. And here's that job level answer. This is the CFO dashboard. Every job in one place, and there it is. The Harrington kitchen remodel with the real cost, the real margin, and that receipt's already included. That is the exact question your generic QuickBooks could not answer, sitting right here, updated the moment your crew lead tagged it from the field. And here's one more thing that surprises people. Because Project Tools is doing the job costing, you often don't need QuickBooks' top tier plan just to track jobs. You can drop down to a simpler QuickBooks plan, and the savings on that plan is frequently more than project tools cost you in the first place. You get the job level visibility, your office manager stops retyping receipts, and your software bill goes down. Now, if you're not on project tools, you can still make QuickBooks itself construction ready. It's more hands-on, but here's the path, and it follows the same setup choices. First, fix your chart of accounts. Split that one cost of goods bucket into materials, labor, subcontractors, equipment, and set up your segments while you're in there. I did not want to have you build that from scratch, so I put a ready-to-import general contracting chart of accounts in the description. Start from that and adjust it to your business. If you do that, you'll have skipped the hardest part. Second, go into each item that you buy and tie it to the right cost of goods account in the settings, not just the income account it came with. This is the silent one, and it's worth an hour to get it right. Third, turn on your projects or your customers and jobs and tag every expense to a job as it comes in. Then you can run a profit and loss by job and finally find out which one's paid and which one's bled. And one important thing, because this is where people sink themselves, do not try to go back and fix years of history. I would never tell a client to do that. Start with your active jobs, tag what you can, and work on what you're doing right now. Set the processes up going forward, and in 3 to 6 months, you'll have real numbers you can make decisions on. If down the road, there's an old job you really want to understand and you have a way to pull the data, tackle it then after the new process is running. Trying to retag the past while you're still learning new habits is a losing formula. Go forward first. Now, if you want to see exactly what Project Tools sends over to QuickBooks and what it keeps on the job costing side, I shot a short follow-up on the Project Tools channel. Link is in the description. And if that finally cleared up why your QuickBooks reports never match what you felt out on the job, hit the like button. It helps another contractor find this. Here's what you can do this week without spending $1. First, open your QuickBooks and look at your cost of goods sold. Is it on one line or is it broken out by materials, labor, and subs? That one look will tell you a lot. Number 2, pick your last finished job and try to find its true cost in under 2 minutes. If you can't, then you know that's the gap and it's real, not just a feeling. Third, run the QuickBooks Setup Audit. It's 8 yes or no questions about how your QuickBooks is set up. Are your cost accounts split out? Is your business segmented? Are jobs turned on? Do your items point to the right accounts? Does payroll hit your job? It scores you, it shows you the annual dollar cost of each gap, and it hands you a fixed list ranked by what is costing you the most. It's about 2 minutes. The link's in the description. And I'm generally curious where everybody stands. Open your QuickBooks and look at the cost of goods line right now. Is it one line or is it broken out? Drop one line or broken out in the comments below. No job names, just the answers. One quick thing before I wrap up the tool side. If this is the kind of thing you want every week, subscribe. The next one is on what Contractor's whole software stack actually costs, and the number usually lands higher than people expect. And everything I just showed you, the field capture, the one-click handoff to QuickBooks, the timekeeper, the job level dashboard, that's all in one piece of software, Project Tools. It is built for owners who started in the trades and now have to run the business, and it does the job costing so QuickBooks doesn't have to. The QuickBooks Setup Audit I mentioned is the place to start. The link's in the description, and the QuickBooks Setup Checklist PDF is in there too if you'd rather work from a printout. From here, you've got 2 roads. If you want to do it yourself, Project Tools does the job costing for you and feeds QuickBooks clean. That is at bestdecisionprojecttools.com. And if you'd rather have it set up right the first time by someone who does this every day, that is what we do at Best Decision Bookkeeping. We specialize in setting contractors up for success, the chart of accounts, the segments, the job costing, all of it. Reach out at bestdecisionbookkeeping.com/contact and we'll look at your setup together. Once your QuickBooks can finally tell you which jobs made money, the next question is what you are paying to get there. Most contractors are paying for more overlapping software than they realize, and the real number is bigger than any single monthly bill. That is the next video. Watch it right here.